How are you? My name is Matthew Galp. I'm the president and CEO of Rescue Leaders. Rescue Leaders has a flagship product called the Body Beacon. The Body Beacon has two major components. First is the bell keeper, and the second is the LED equipped light that we place on the bell keeper called the Body Beacon. But let's start with the bell keeper. Now, bell keeper comes in three different configurations. We have black leather with silver snaps, black leather with gold snaps, and black nylon with a black snap. Now, what differentiates our bell keepers from other bell keepers is this snap cover comes off. The keeper's placed like on your belt just like any other bell keeper. The wing on the Body Beacon, and we'll go over the nomenclature of this real quick. Here's the rubberized wing. It can stretch out to over 200 times its normal size. This female snap is built into the frame of the Body Beacon. It has a rear clasp so that the Body Beacon can be attached to any other objects. It has a USB recharging port, a micro USB. You charge it for 4 hours and the Body Beacon will continuously flash for 8 hours on a single charge. The exterior housing melts at 550 degrees Fahrenheit. It is IP66 rated for waterproofing and has a single operation point of pressing the translucent button on the top. Green means it's charged, and flashing red means that 15% or below and it needs to be recharged. And again, it's micro USB. You charge for 4 hours, it's good for 8 hours. Now, to attach the Body Beacon onto the bell keeper, you simply attach your bell keeper onto your gun belt or utility belt like you would normally, and you would take the hole in the wing and place it over the snap. You trap the wing, you snap, snap, and wrap. Now, as you can see from the top, the wing is trapped in between the upper snaps, and that will not come off. Now, the Body Beacon comes in several different colors. Blue and blue, blue and white, red and red, red and white, amber and amber, amber and white, green and white, and red and blue. Those are the different colors of the Body Beacon. Now we're going to transition over your attention to Brad. Now Brad's going to show us the different locations where we can place a Body Beacon. Now normally we have our gun belt. We have at least two belt keepers in the front of our gun belts. So wherever you put your normal bell keeper, you can place a Body Beacon at this point. Now, if you're in patrol and you have a rear, again, just put it on the rear of your gun belt. And now we want to illuminate. We want you to be the light in the darkness. That's one of our slogans, because in doing motor vehicle operations or stopping cars, stopping pedestrians, out in the highways or out in the roadways, most of the time it's poorly lit. And we want to enhance the operator's safety by lighting him or her during their performance of their duties. And it's so important that people actually see us. Now, if Brad's in plain clothes and Brad's in normal jeans or normal pants and he's not wearing a gun belt, well, you know what? When he jumps out of the car, he's executing a search warrant, Brad's going to have a badge and something that says prominently, it's going to say police on it. So what Brad needs to do is simply take a Body Beacon and attach it to his lanyard of his badge. And now Brad is blinking. Now, in court, when a defense attorney brings up, like, my client didn't know that that individual was a police officer, that's going to be very hard to argue when Brad has a badge prominently displayed, the officer pronounces his or her arrival, and on the back of Brad, he can now take a Body Beacon, and again, Brad's probably not going to wear a utility belt when he's executing a search warrant, he's in plain clothes, so he simply takes the Body Beacon rubber wing, and he wraps it around his own belt loop. So now a retired police officer or an off-duty police officer sees Brad and he has somebody at gunpoint, a subject at gunpoint, he'll be less likely to index his trigger when he tells Brad what to do if he thinks he's a suspect. So now Brad is blinking, he's prominently displaying who he is and what his business is. And again, as many bell keepers as you wear is as many Body Beacons as you can wear. Now, let's just say Brad's looking for a suspect, and we have a perimeter already set up. Now, if there's an aviation asset available, if there's a helicopter available, what we're going to do is Brad's going to take one of his bell keepers, dislodge his body beacon, and then simply quickly put it on his epaulette, simple like that, and turn it on. And you tell the reflection off the ceiling. Now the aviation asset, when he looks through FLIR or he has a visual confirmation on who the officers are and who the suspects are. And then he can coordinate a lot faster the assets to get where they need to go. Now with civil disorder, I was a commander of a civil disorder unit, and I was a SWAT operator as well. So being a commander of a civil disorder unit, one of my main functions or difficulties was organizing skirmish lines and color coding arrest teams. So now we can do that by color. So now we have a skirmish line, we have a blue arrest team, we have a blue and white arrest team, a red and white arrest team, and if you're another agency that's never worked with each other before, you don't have to look at patches anymore. You can simply say, go to the blue and white lights. You're going to back up the red and white lights. The amber is the team that you need to go back up and fulfill those responsibilities. And if you have plainclothes operators in that mix, then again, you can have color of the day and have a red and white or a blue and white, and those plainclothes operators can jump out, snatch people up, and do what they need to do, and all the other uniforms know what time it is because we have the proper color and combination of who the police officer are that day. Now, for EMS, it's important that in EMS we use triage for mass casualty incidents. So with triage, we have red body beacon, we have amber body beacon, and we have a green and white body beacon. Now these body beacons can be used to simply color code mass casualty patients. So the commander of the EMS division can now order up how many ambulances he needs to transport victims to the hospital. Also, it's more efficient because now EMTs know what patients have been evaluated and what patients haven't been evaluated, because now you have blinking lights in the field. If there's a bus accident or a train accident or a bus, train, plane, whatever it may be, there's lots of patients, and those patients' care can be very, very taken care of efficiently, getting them to the hospital as much as we can and getting the necessary resources to get those people to the hospital. Also on the EMS side of the house, again, when you jump out of an ambulance, the first thing you do is before you open that door on the highway, you take that quick peek to make sure that you don't get crushed when you come out by a moving vehicle. So what that EMT can do, simply he or she can take a body beacon and just slip it through his or her pant belt as they jump out. It's that quick, it's that simple. So now, as an EMT, you assess the patient at a car accident scene. You can have a body beacon in the front. You can have a body beacon in the back. You're assessing your patient, and now you're a whole lot safer on the highway. Now, it's not just for people, it's also equipment. So now you can put body beacons on your oxygen, body beacons on your stretcher, body beacons on any equipment that you put down on the highway. Now on the fire side, we'll cover that real quick. Firefighters. We can now color code engine companies, rescue companies, truck companies, RIT teams. It all be color coded. God forbid there's a May Day. It's the worst day ever. Now we can send firefighters, that RIT team, to look for that firefighter who's wearing a specific color. So these body beacons can simply be placed on the frame of the SCBA. It can be placed on the rear of the helmet of the firefighter. It can be also even placed on the regulator of the straps coming down off the SCBA. Now, we mentioned the bell keepers earlier. Now, firefighters, what we can do now is take the bell keeper and snap it to the first snap, causing a loop. Now, this loop, this is where you can put the hose, of your regulator, or it goes around the straps of your SCBA, and then you can simply take your body beacon, snap it in place, and then wrap it in place. Snap and wrap. So now it would look like this. The firefighter activates his or her light, and now you go into a fire and with your partner who's wearing the same color. Because now if we get lost, we get disoriented where we are, especially in warehouses or larger building or larger residences, we can look out and look for a specific color of our partner. Again, I appreciate all your time. The body beacon was made with police, fire, EMS, and tow truck drivers. I didn't even touch the tow truck drivers, excuse me. Tow truck drivers, one tow truck driver gets killed every 6 days. That's ridiculous, and we have to do something to save these folks. They save us when our cars break down on the highways, and the rescue leaders appreciates their efforts, and now we're going to put body beacons on our tow truck drivers. Again, whether it's on your belts, or whether you put the bell keeper on a piece of equipment, please put your body beacons on, because our tow truck drivers are getting killed out there at an alarming rate. So rescue leaders, we don't just talk the talk, we also walk the walk. 10% of our profits is going back to police, fire, EMS, and tow truck drivers' families who lost their lives in the line of duty and suffered a tragic loss. That's what we're about. We want to give back a lot of money to the best professions that I've been engaged with. And I'm serious about that. So we appreciate you, and please be the light in the darkness. Please go home. And remember the 2 golden rules of our jobs, all of our jobs. 1, get home safe. 2, rule number 1 is get home safe. Rule number 2 is to follow rule number 1. It's as simple as that. We got to get home. We got to take care of our families. And here at Rescue Leaders, we thank you, and we want you to be safe, and we want you to be the light in the darkness.